right, let's talk about a challenge that, every single writing teacher faces. How do you get students to move past just fixing a few typos and into the real work of revision? Well, we're going to break down a strategy that can seriously transform your students' writing from just done to, well, dazzling. So picture this. A student walks up to your desk, hands you their paper, and says those three little words that might just make you sigh, even just a little on the inside. But you look at the paper and all they've really done is fix a comma or maybe a spelling mistake. They've confused that final polish with the actual heavy lifting. So how in the world do we get them to do the deep work of improving their ideas? Okay, first things first, we have to get really, really clear on a key difference. And this distinction, it's the foundation for this entire strategy. Editing, that's the final polish, right? It's fixing those surface level errors. But revising, oh, that's the creative heavy lifting. It's all about rethinking ideas, reorganizing your structure, clarifying what you mean, basically making the writing stronger from the inside out. So to help students tackle that heavy lifting, they really need a tool, a system they can rely on. And that's exactly where the CDO strategy comes into play. So what is it exactly? Well, CDO is a simple, research-based framework. It's a 3-step process that gives students a really structured way to look at their own sentences, critique them, and then, actually make them better. And the 3 steps, they're so simple and memorable. First, you compare. Does the writing on this page actually match the idea that was in my head? Next, you diagnose. Okay, what's the specific problem here? Is the sentence confusing? Is it awkward? Maybe it's just off topic. And finally, you operate. So how am I going to fix it? Should I add something, delete it, or just rewrite the whole thing? Compare, diagnose, operate. It's a crystal clear roadmap for improvement. Now, theory is one thing, right? But let's see what this actually looks like in a real classroom. We're going to take a peek inside a 7th grade science class with a teacher named Mr. Marcus to see this thing in action. So, his students were writing these informative essays all about ecosystems. And here's a pretty typical sentence from a first draft. I mean, it's not technically wrong, but it's vague. It just doesn't have that scientific punch the teacher is really looking for. Okay, this is where the magic happens. We get to see how Mr. Marcus models the whole CDO process. He kicks it off by comparing his intention with what's actually on the page. Then he diagnoses the problem. It's just too vague. And finally, he plans his operation. He's going to add more specific scientific details. And just look at the result. The new sentence is an absolute powerhouse. It's specific, it's clear, and it uses that precise academic vocabulary. That is the kind of leap in quality you get when students have a clear process to follow. So we've seen that it works, for sure. But the real power of this strategy, the secret sauce, if you will, is in that diagnose step. It's all driven by these simple tools that give students the exact language they need to find problems in their own writing. See, the diagnose step is powered by these simple little evaluation cards that give students a vocabulary for revision. So for example, a card like this one, the reader may not understand this. It forces students to step outside their own head and think about their audience and about clarity. Or how about this one? This doesn't sound right. This card is so empowering. It tells them to trust their gut, to trust their ear, and flag awkward phrasing, even if they don't know the exact grammar rule behind it. This next card really gets to the heart of revision. This is not what I intended to say. It helps students see and then close that gap between the amazing thoughts in their head and the actual words on the page. And finally, a card like, "This is not useful to my paper," teaches that absolutely vital skill of cutting what isn't relevant. When you put them all together, these cards create a powerful toolkit for thinking like a real writer. You see, this whole strategy builds into something so much bigger than just writing better sentences. It fundamentally changes how students see themselves as writers. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to this 7th grader who said the strategy helped them know what was wrong before they tried to fix it. That sense of ownership, that's everything. It shifts their whole mindset from, what did I do wrong, to how can I make this better? Ultimately, CDO builds metacognition. It teaches students to have that internal conversation that expert writers just have naturally. It gives them a way to manage their own process. And all of a sudden, revision isn't some vague, scary chore anymore. It's a skill they can actually master, and that builds some serious confidence. So the CDO strategy isn't just a list of steps to follow.
It's really a new way of thinking. It gives students the keys to their own writing, so they can become their own best critics and editors. So the question to take with you is this: how will you use this to unlock the confident, capable writers in your classroom?